In this video, we're going to discuss the SOAP message capabilities or SOAP web service capabilities of ServiceNow. This will be a simple example where we just show making an external call to a web service. In this context, the call is going to send a phone number out to an external system and get some information back about that phone number. And so this really isn't a use case example as much as it is just a technical kind of proving out the concept. I'll do another video that gets into more of a use case specific example. So as you look at the screen here, here's our SOAP message activity that I've dragged and dropped and connected into our workflow canvas. And so these SOAP messages are defined in ServiceNow. I'll show you that here in a second. And then once you define them, you can reference them in your SOAP message activity. So before I do that, I'm going to switch over here and just show you the external service that we'll be calling. So this company here offers services for a number of different things. The one we're going to test with here is phone verification. So I can pass it in a phone number and get back information about what county that phone number is in and what latitude and longitude, those kinds of things. I'll actually show you the results of a test here. So this is a test page they provide. So you can see that the information that comes back is this kind of stuff here. Now this is actually showing you in clear text without all the XML payload stuff showing as well. But anyhow, the gist of it is you pass in a number and it's going to give you back who the carrier is and the county and the state and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to go back to our workflow, and as I double click in here because I've got the workflow checked out, you can see that I've given it, validate phone number is what I've called the activity, and then I'm referencing a SOAP message and a function within that defined SOAP message. So I'm going to show you now where that's created in ServiceNow. So I'll just switch back over here and we'll go ahead and I'm just going to type in SOAP in the filter text. So there's this outbound SOAP message that you can define, and the one that I had created was called phone verification. And so what you do is you give it the web service description language reference when you define one of these, and that's how it knows what the endpoint is and where the service call is going to be made to. In addition to that, you can have it go ahead and generate sample messages. So that service actually offers a couple of different methods. The one that we're concerned with, or the example is this check phone number example here. And so it pulls the WSDL in from the site, so you can see that as well. So if you're interested in seeing the contents of the WSDL, it pulls that in and stores it. And then when I go down to one of these methods, so in this case, check phone number, it allows you to test right from there. So we're in this record now that is specific to that one method, and you can put in things like you see here, right? Phone number and license key, so that ultimately you can test it with different inputs and see if it actually works right from this UI here. So I'm going to go ahead and click test, and I'm getting a 500 back. And the reason I got a 500 back is because I didn't put a number in here. So I'll just go ahead and do that real quick. And I'll put in a license key of 0, and I'll rerun my test. And so you can see this time we've got a status of 200 and it worked. And here are the results. So these results that you see here are the same as what is displayed on their test page. The difference is that this includes all the XML tags that are coming back. So the last thing I'll show you here, switching back over to the workflow canvas. So here's our activity, and you can see that I'm passing in this information. Now I'm statically keying it in here, but in a future example we'll show that being passed in dynamically. The example I'll use is like an incident being created and looking up the caller's phone number and doing some verification on it. So for now, just to kind of wrap this one up, now that I have this activity in my workflow, one last piece I forgot to show you here is down under the sensor script. You see I've got gs.log activity output. So what that's going to do is put the output of the service call in the log so that we can see it. So I'll go ahead and run this now. Click start. So we're just doing, running it right from here versus creating a record or something like that. Then you can see we have a success, and we've gone out the success path. Now the only easy way for me to see The output of this is to go look at my log, because I've written it to the log and I've set up a shortcut to my log here, and I'll refresh it. This was an earlier test that I did, so when I refresh this, there it is. You can see the information that's come back from our service call. So that's it, just a simple example of how you can make a SOAP call using workflow and then get the information back into ServiceNow.